To be honest with you, I would be happy to cut the entire deck off and redo the entire thing.
I know a lot of you want to see me use this tool.
I think you were probably breathing in too much of the fumes.
We're sailing Good, Bad, and Ugly. 3 years ago, we bought our boat off Craigslist for $5,000. I'm Kristen, and this is Matt. We are known to break the rules and do things a little less traditional. Hit subscribe to join the adventure. Thanks to our patrons for keeping us going. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sailing GBU. We are picking right back up where we left off. We're still in the boatyard, still working. I don't even know what day it is anymore.
No one does.
But we're getting things done. What are we doing today?
Today I'm going to continue cutting up my deck and getting it dry for that big repair, and then I'd like to sand the whole deck within the next 2 days. I'd like to get the whole top side sanded and prepped for paint, because the bottom side I have some blisters drying out, I have some fairing that's drying, I want to really let that cure. So the bottom, for all intents and purposes, is done for the next couple days. I'd really like to get the top prepped, because that's going to be the first thing we paint, is the deck. So I want to get that done and get that ready to go now.
Let's get right to work. We don't got time to waste, and it's a hot one today, so everybody think about Matt today.
I said, that's good. That's already dried out quite a bit.
It's another day at the boatyard, and Matt has worked really hard taking out all these old instruments, and now we have a ton of holes in the cockpit. So we're gonna work on fiberglassing that so we have a smooth, silky cockpit. It's a lot of work to do all those, and trust me, we probably wanted to be lazy and just paint around them and just keep having them, but we're doing a good job on this project, especially Matt is doing
That's what I did back in the day. This guy had a bunch of old instruments. The boat's been through a bunch of different owners, and I think sailing technology has come a long way in the last 40 years to where we had old autopilots, old wind instruments, so now I have to rip and ride and get all those filled in, and it's a lot of holes. This is a Swiss cheese cockpit, cabin, whatever the heck it's called, and then we're going to get them all filled in today, though, so it's one uniform project.
All right, let's get to it.
Let's do it.
Slam dunk, are you ready to meet me? I'm lit and I'm riding the fast lane. Don't let me down, I'm on fire. The city wants to feel like a liar.
Alright, so I'm going to be using this Bondo fiberglass resin for my little repairs today. And this stuff's pretty gangster. You can fix old cars with it. But it says to mix 1 ounce of resin with 10 drops of this hardener. So we're going to do 4 ounces. So we're going to have to do 40 drops. So I hope you're ready to count.
Oh, shooties.
Alright guys, so I have my hole exposed here. LOL, you know, that's a big joke there. But
Stop.
I've had my hole exposed for a few days now, and I got all the wood out, thankfully. Now it's been drying out, and I think it's ready to be fixed. I think I'm gonna get my wooden parts in here, kind of put those in, and kind of set up a grid so that when I have I'm gonna kind of waffle my wood pieces so that I have a 1/4 inch of fiberglass that's gonna spill over, and kind of build like a grid in there to give it a little bit more strength. It'll be a little bit heavier and I'll use a little more fiberglass, but I think it'll be stronger overall. There's some bigger wet spots. To realistically do it right, I have to cut this entire deck off. It's a 40-year-old boat that's had a million holes in it, so I'm not gonna cut the whole deck apart. I'm just gonna do the best I can and get my deck nice and strong. So I think what I could do is move these apart so that when the fiberglass sinks down in there, it gives me like an added structure layer. But instead of just having these long pieces, which would be easier for me, I think, what I should do is cut these up so that I could slide, let's say these 2 purple lines were cuts, so that I could slide those out a 1/4 inch as well and make like a square grid pattern. I think that'll make it a lot stronger, to be honest with you, and I don't think it'll cost me that much more fiberglass.
I know a lot of you want to see me use this tool, but I'm not gonna do it today. I already am getting nervous, and I already got cut by just handling the wood up, so I don't think today's my lucky day. I don't need to cut off my whole hand.
So I got all my wood pieces cut. Went pretty quick because these aren't like exact cuts. These are basically just filling the void so I don't use too much fiberglass. Got those ready. Cleaned out the joints and all that stuff, so I'm ready to go, ready to rip it. I didn't cut all the pieces up to let fiberglass slide in just because I'm not sure if the fiberglass will be stronger than the wood, and it just seems like an extra step. I think there's already going to be some grid that just happened anyway, so I think we're just going to start throwing some fiberglass in, get these set, and then I'm going to have to grind the wood out to make it smooth before I put my final layer on. Alright guys, don't mind all the dust in my face and crust on my lips. I'm out here living the hard life. But funny story, I was putting up my tarp to 1, keep it cool in here, and 2, to keep like some of the dust from going in hatches and things like that. And I was kind of worried because it was really windy today and the boat started wobbling a little bit on these old jack stands.
Did it?
Yeah, and I was like, man, what if this like put up this extra windage and now I ripped myself off the jack stands? But then I looked around at all these other boats and I'm like, these boats have a lot more, like all that canvas catches way more wind than this catches wind. So I was like, I think it'll be okay.
I think you were probably breathing in too much of the fumes.
I think I was.
And you didn't know what the heck you were
I was just
thinking.
hallucinating?
Yeah, no, you were just like, whoa.
I'll tell you guys, if you like Huff and Glue, if you're one of those kids out there,
no, don't.
become a
no.
fiberglasser because it's a glue
that.
huffer's dream.
Alright guys, so it's been a couple days. We're finally over our 12 days that we said, so everyone can leave a cry laughing face emoji down there. And we're still in the thick of it. Matt has been fiberglassing for the past couple days. We ran out of fiberglass, and now we finally got the sander back because people had to use it also on the weekdays. So we're back on the weekend. We got the big sander, and today we're working on the hole. Matt's gonna sand down the wood to make it more smoother, and then we're gonna pour more fiberglass, and he's gonna keep going back and forth sanding that. We also have been still working in the cockpit, fiberglassing those holes and sanding them. So no real exciting, but we did decide on taking a hatch that we had in the front that went under our lines that we never used, and we're gonna actually cut into this hole that we have, another hole, and we're gonna put this hatch over our bathroom so we can get more air in there and more breeze to aerate it. So I don't wanna waste any more time today. Let's get to work, see what happens today. Oh yeah, and he has all that on, that's why he can't talk, and I didn't wanna make him take it all off, so.
You just seem to have one single thing in mind. I'm casting our date to save some time. So on the edge of life. Ooh, some perception of time.
Okay guys, when you're mixing this resin, what I found is that you really want to mix the out of it, because if not, it'll set off all at different times and it'll be all over the place with your set times. So when I was sanding earlier, you can see these holes that I forgot to tape. I forgot to tape up those holes, so when I was doing my sanding bit, a lot of dust was going in the house, and Kristen said, shouldn't we have taped those up? And I said, yeah, we probably should have. And she said, well, now it's going to cost you a lot of extra time to fix it. And I said, well, I think we can both go clean it as husband and wife. And then she said, those are husband problems because husband forgot to do it. So if I can get a hashtag husband problem, any of my other husbands are out there, you know.
Did you say mother husbands?
Other husbands. If any of my mother husbands are out there too, it's 2021. You can be a mother husband probably. So let me know in the comments below if we're gonna do a husband and wife or if it's gonna be all me down there sweeping the dust.
So Matt likes to give me a lot of hard times, but you know what? I might not be able to help in the sanding processes, but I can deliver a sandwich for lunch. So don't you want this delicious sandwich, Matt?
I do want it. Did you bring me a cold soda pop? That's how you know she loves you. Alright guys, so I've just been sanding all day. Nothing really too fun to see, kind of boring stuff. But I did get most of my holes finished in the cockpit. So I'm going to finish my second to last sand on that. And then I like to clean up all the dust by spraying it off so that it doesn't fly everywhere on all these other people's boats. So I'm going to sweep that up, then spray it off, and then show you what I got done today. Show you the finished hole wall. What's really cool about doing a job like this is it's very fulfilling. After a good, what has it been, 9-10 hours today, good 8 to 10 hour work day, you get to look at all your hard work, and this is what I got for 10 hours.
Don't breathe.
About that much of a bucket of paint dust. The sun is setting, different kind of sundowner. She's got a nice cold water here. Worked hard today, but I got a lot of work done. I got my holes all patched up from my old instruments. You may see this green stuff. It's a epoxy filler that I use just because these holes were like 1 inch deep and I had 50 of them, and it was just taking me a long time to do. So I put 3 layers of fiberglass in the back filled with the putty filler, and then I'm gonna do 1 clean glass over the top. I bought some higher end fiberglass and resin, so hopefully that's gonna come out nice and smooth, and once it's painted it'll be like those things were never even there. Pretty gangster. Got a lot of work done today, and it was hard. A lot of mixing. That stuff goes off fast. The sanding is frustrating. in here with all the nooks and crannies, a pain in the butt. You got to get in there with a little bit of sandpaper. You have to hand sand all around the pedestal. It's a lot of work, so I'm definitely feeling it. I'm into my 12th day. I'm officially over budget, and it stings a little bit.
You're doing a good job, Matt.
I'm working hard. It's just things go slow, and I never get enough materials. I'm gonna have to go back and get more fiberglass and more sandpaper again, probably.
And that's like the 5th time.
No, it's at least the 5th time.
Why don't you just buy the box?
Okay, I'll buy the box. The box is like $70 for this set.
You've probably already spent more than that on sandpaper.
Well, I'm spending more than that on gas, going back and forth. So, and hopefully by Monday we should be done with the sanding.
I hope so, because I know I'm getting sick of watching it, so you guys are probably too.
Yeah, if you're getting sick of watching it, you can only imagine.
Sorry,
you can
Matt.
only imagine. Anyway, listen, but seriously though, new estimated timeline is
Don't even put a timeline on.
I think 10 days. I think I'm going to go 10 days over budget. It's going to take me 3 more days to sand, then it's going to take me 5 more days to paint, then it's going to take me 2 days to clean up and do stuff like that, put the boat back together and get it splashed. So we're going over budget a little bit, but hey, what can you do? Mama wants a shiny boat.
You're the one who wants a shiny boat, so you don't have to clean the bottom 500 times.
Well, the bottom would have been done by now if that's what we were doing, but
You know what, Matt? Just been sanding away. Matt's been doing a lot of work, and he's patched up the hole to what he thinks is pretty good. I don't know why I say he thinks, like I don't think. he thinks it's pretty good. He still has one more sanding, maybe another fiberglassing, or no?
yeah, the deck is solid as a rock. I have to put like one more glaze coat over it just so it looks perfectly smooth. When the paint goes on, I can hit it with 220 sandpaper, make it velvety smooth so that we can move forward. But yeah, I mean, that repair is solid as a rock. I can see how people get lost in the boatyard though. To be honest with you, I would be happy to cut the entire deck off and redo the entire thing.
No, you would not be happy to do that.
I would be happy to do it, but there's just so many things to do, and once you have it out, you just think, I'm gonna do everything.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said, but you didn't listen to me.
I can see how it could be tempting, but we're still not gonna do it. I'm limiting myself to a B plus procedure here. I keep struggling for my 4.0 GPA, and I say, no, Matt, it's fine. Settle for a B plus. So I'm not gonna work too hard on that.
And we found other damages. It looks like our boat was in an accident before that someone had patched up. Not too bad, but there looks like something, maybe a whisker pole came whipping down at one point in time.
Something didn't go right.
But we saw that too, so that was interesting. But that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this sanding blasphemy, and next week we should be painting. We had to get another Airbnb, so that sucked. And basically, if you're gonna take your boat out, just add double the time. Just right off rip, double the time, double the budget.
You know, my hairline's already kicked back another 3.5 inches, so I'm looking like a straight Klingon under this hat. But it was good that we got the Airbnb though, because we had to get Bear off the boat. It would have been not nice to keep Bear on there. So don't think that we're living lavishly. We did it for the kid. If we would have just been us,
yeah,
if we were single,
we did it
you know,
for me.
we would have just taped up the hatches and sweltered. But
That we would have done.
Bear needed it.
All right, guys, make sure you like and subscribe this video, and we'll see you next week. Bye.